Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to this policy seminar on Nigeria's solar-powered cold chain business. We're very happy to see you all here and are very proud to organize this event with the Global Cold Chain Alliance, about which we'll say a bit more a bit later on. But first, it's about cold chains. What about cold chains? Well, it seems like such a trivial thing. Think about your refrigerator at home where you keep your foods safe and well stored. So you may think, what would we do without? But we may take this for granted. It's not just what you have in your home, but also where you buy your food in the supermarkets, which typically much of the food will be nicely stored in cooled spaces, if not fully refrigerated spaces, to preserve the freshness and the quality of the food. But the whole process typically already starts from the farm with cooled transportation, cooled storage, or depending on the product also dried storage. So as we may take that for granted in our livelihoods, that's not something to be taken for granted everywhere. There's many places where there's no such storage. There's no cooled transportation to preserve the food, and as a consequence a lot of food gets lost, quality gets lost, but also the farmers and vendors may lose income because, not just because they may lose some food that was not stored properly, but also because it will prevent them from smoothing their sales on the market over time and having to sell everything off once the harvest is there. So they may face drops in prices, food price volatility, if there's not such logistics in the form of cooled transportation and storage to bring their produce to markets. So today we'll hear about the ColdHubs in Nigeria as a starting point, which provides solar-powered cooled storage to solve many of the hurdles that a lot of farmers and vendors face in developing countries, not having access to electricity, not having proper access to markets or credits in order to purchase to make the investment for the storage space. So for that we have a panel to discuss it, but first of all we're very proud and honored to have the founder and CEO of Nigeria's ColdHubs here to tell us about the experience. So he will introduce it to you, and then we have a discussion on what we can learn from this experience and what lessons can be learned for applying this business model, as I would like to call it, in other contexts. So without further ado, let me introduce you Nnaemeka, if I can introduce just with your first name, who is the founder and CEO of ColdHubs Nigeria. And not just that, he's been awarded many, many times for innovative programs and projects as a social entrepreneur. He also created the smallholder farmer rural radio, which reached 2 million Nigerian listeners, the Agri-Entrepreneurship Academy, the Smallholders Seed Store, Smallholders Microcredit, and the Grain Store polypropylene bags, which are grain preservation bags. So he has a long history, among other things, of engaging in new, innovative, and inclusive agricultural businesses. And let me just mention one of his awards. He's been the Nigeria's Young Person of the Year in 2011. That's not even such a long time ago. So without further ado, Nnaemeka, you have the floor.